Okay, hello everyone. It is 10:10, closing to 11 minutes past 10 on this Friday, June 2nd. It is rainy outside, literally raining outside, and boy, my face is a mess. Honestly, my face is a mess right now. I was going to go to the barber, but unfortunately, Mother Nature have other ideas, so maybe I can't go, but that's fine. It is what it is. Um, so yeah, there is a lot to talk about here on this channel. In fact, there's a lot to talk about that I wanted to discuss. Um, so if you noticed that yesterday we were supposed to do LCS, like it's the traditional LCS is back, all the good things, and then watch as North America plays slow so badly, be entertained, have a clown fiesta, and then watch NA loses their crap at international events and then laugh at it, and then the whole cycle will repeat it for the next couple of years. Well, unfortunately, the whole thing did not happen. I think the cloud fiesta was avoided, but the whole thing didn't happen. They decided to push the LCS further for 2 more weeks to find a middle ground between the LCSPA and Riot. And unfortunately, they had to give an ultimatum. If we don't find anything common within 2 weeks, they can feel that the competitive integrity will be lost. And they decided that North America will be not participated at Worlds. Just think about this for a second. When was the last time when a region cannot compete at Worlds for any reason other than labor disputes or something? The Russian League and League of Legends can't go because of war, and the LCO can't go because of Riot's misuse of the Oceanic region. ESL revived it back, but other than that, this is probably the first time we get to see North America not make it to the Worlds because of, how do I say this, arrogance and greed and not give a damn, you know. Now, before we get to all of this, I like to applaud the players for literally standing up and sticking to the man and all those kind of stuff. It is not easy sometimes, you know. You see players losing jobs. You see staff members and all those kind of stuff losing jobs. These are real people, of course, working and doing hard and all this kind of stuff. And to see the players reacting that way, and you know, seeing a vote that is reaching like 90% plus on the vote to walk out by the LCSPA, charged by Philip Aram, it is unique and incredible, and something to be admired, and that is something that I really admire, that people are gonna stand up. Now, I'm not going to go through all of this. There are going to be video links to talk about this with LS and Nave and Nat Dash, the former CLG member, and community reaction from Tala One. There are going to be video links on that. So I'm not going to go into deep discussion on this. This is going to be me as a fan of League of Legends talking about this and giving my, how do I say, reaction to all of this. Well, let's just say, first of all, this is just really sad. It is really, really sad. And I think it is really feel like we are at the point of the LCS being killed off by, dare I say, some of the sins being committed by them. The pridefulness, the slothfulness, the greediness, of the LCS had finally come into force. And this has come as a gigantic surprise to everybody. That the esports that we know and love is just no longer the esports that we just dream of, simply. Like many people, cashing in at esports will be bigger than the NBA or the MLB or all the other kind of sports. And that's not happening, Chief. Oh no, that's not even happening. The NFL, you can say all you will about the NFL and their incompetence, but by God, the NFL is like making lots of money. They are doing games on Black Friday. They're doing games on Easter Sunday. They're even doing games on New Year's Day. Like, there is no way that a league like the LCS trying to make it bigger than like some of the other leagues. And that affected the Overwatch League, which is another game that they're trying to make it a league of it off. So yeah, it almost feels like these, let's just call it venture capitals, just trying to make esports a big thing. And guess what? It just blow it up on their faces. So now I feel like, as a fan of the League of Legends scene, that I feel like their comeuppance is already being served. And now they're looking at Riot and just tell them, hey Riot, you better do something about this. We are in big trouble. And it kind of feels, and it almost feels like there is just nothing that Riot can do about it. It's just Riot just feels like, oh no, you have to make your move. You have to do something. You pay these players. You pay these players exorbitant amount of funds to be competitive, to be a ambassador for the game. You tried everything like that, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work anymore. You know, I'm gonna say something. Have anybody watched SpongeBob? Now, I am dare I say, a gigantic fan of SpongeBob when I was younger. So, there is one episode of SpongeBob that I think everybody can relate. It is an episode, it is a scene. I'm gonna go to a scene. Yeah. This is probably the most relatable scene ever.
You use me?
Okay, sorry, it's 2 XP, but let's just rewind.
You use me? For land development! That wasn't nice.
That's how the LCS have treated their players. Like land development. They treated their players like they treated this league like it's a big advertisement for the game itself. And not for this competitive, hierarchy like many other people. You see, you look at LCK. You look at LCK right now. They treated League of Legends like it's their thing. It's their bread and butter, their sport, their culture, and all these kind of things. Like, Paz is getting hundreds of thousands of dollars, getting a tutor to develop his League of Legends. We cannot even get a tutor. We can't even get a tutor for school, and yet Korea got like $100,000 and all this kind of stuff. So that hurts. That hurts so much, and of course it really hurts the product. Of course, it really hurts the product with the low viewership, the Reddit comments spreading hundreds and hundreds of not caring about it. I can bet you $1 right now that the Disguised Toast match and the show Disguised Toast match with the Legends have more viewership than probably any LCS game this spring. Just look at every LCS game this spring, peak viewership, and look at the Disguised Toast Legends game. With all the legends like Voyboy, Skara, and all those kind of things against the Disguised Toast team with rookies from the NACL who are gonna compete next week in the NACL. And if anybody knows Disguised Toast, he was a Hearthstone pro, he was a TFT pro, he's a guy who done offline lead with offline TV with Skara. He's a big influencer, and now his influence have now garnered him to put all his money on his Valorant team with Ye, by the way. And now he's putting all his eggs in the basket on the League of Legends scene. And when I saw the amount of money he put on the NACL team to make Academy, it just almost feels like, well, right, we spent a lot of money on this Academy League to try and develop the whole team, but unfortunately it's not working. Plus, viewership is dog crap. So nobody gives a damn. So we decided to okay guys, do we really want to pull out this worthless thing? I mean, yeah, you agreed. Okay. and that's like, I don't know, 70% of the LCS teams kind of like pull out of their NACL thing. Plus, and I heard this conversation from Summoning Insight, the 200 episode of Summoning Insight, which, by the way, I'm not a huge fan of the Summoning Insight, but I like Thorin and Monte Cristo's perspective on the esports scene. Yeah, I prefer that. So congratulations. But in little nips and pieces about the episodes with memories and all this kind of stuff, they talk about the high school level of esports. And there was a company called Versus Play. Now, Versus Play is kind of like one of those high school esports events that many people wanted to look at. And I heard that Riot Games decided that they cannot do it. So, let me just read something. Versus Play. No, okay. Let me just see. There is a link, by the way. Oh, maybe I should do it in first. Let me just see. Okay. So no, I don't see the link. Maybe I should. Maybe I should do this. There you go. Okay. Yeah. So this is from the Washington Post on June 8th, 2022. Riot Games announced on that Wednesday that they are no longer having to host season-long school versus school League of Legends tournament, and ended their partnership with Play Versus. They didn't mention Play Versus by the name and decree the partnership. And this is a huge blow. Look, I mean, Tada One actually mentioned about the lack of NA talent that we have for the last several years. And he's right. It's things like these that really hurt the talent brand. And now, instead of just high school we're looking at, we're just gonna look at collegiate League of Legends, like the Maryvilles and the Floridas and all the other colleges that we have to rely on talent. Which, by the way, it's good, but it's not gonna make a huge difference. It's not gonna make a gigantic difference, And it sucks. It really, really sucks. In fact, that Riot put all their money, $3 million, to, hey guys, here's $3 million. You have to help us make this league great. Here's $3 million to help fund your academy league to develop and to grow the league further. And some people are just sitting on this and just like, not give a damn. Like, I bet you Team Liquid used that $3 million on that Valorant team that won EMEA. I bet you $1 that those $3 million by 100 Thieves can win you Call of Duty tournaments. I bet you right now that those $3 million can help you win in some kind of fighting game or something. It's like these people are just like grabbing the money by Riot and just not do something about it. And now they are suffering because of it. Now, Devin Nash did a video, and I'm going to put that video below, about who's to blame for it. It's Riot, yes. It's the players becoming so lazy and not give a damn about their league. They don't stream. They don't, tweet or anybody else. They don't show their faces. They don't make their product their own. They don't even, sell product highs. Look at Bjergsen. I bet you Bjergsen is the most popular player in all of League of Legends for the last several years. How many times do we see him, have a product or do tweets or all this kind of stuff? And people don't care. People care about him. But if you go an average person like Fudge or Blabber or something, then they do not even care about it. If Blabber should have just done his Blabber's Crabbers t-shirt or plushies and make it a thing. That will drive people revenue. But unfortunately, they can't even do that. And they can't even have that product, of player empowerment without even Riot stepping in. I don't know what I'm talking about, but you guys what I mean. But I think Devin Nash already mentioned that this is the team's fault. That the teams were given so much money but can't even use that money to help and develop. And now we're in the crossroads that makes you feel like the team wants Riot to fork over the money. Riot wants the players to go back there to compete in the LCS, and then the players now have to go to the team orders, and you have to do something about it, or else we're not going to have a LCS team in Worlds. So it almost feels like the Office scene with the triple gun standoff kind of thing, with the finger guns straightened up there. Yeah, that's the scene. I'm thinking about that scene right now. And it's a mess. It is an absolute mess right now. To the point of there's not gonna be no happy endings at this. There will be no happy endings. Even if this thing will be resolved in the 2 weeks that it's gonna be made, I don't think it's gonna change much. Sponsorships are gonna look at this and saying, we're not gonna advertise a product that is not developing and not caring and not do well internationally. We don't want to do that. So let me just pull myself out. And if they cancel Worlds, that'll be a huge blow for them. Yes, say what you will about the LCS not being well internationally, but hello, they were the first, dare I say, first region to do their League of Legends shit, and not have them because of reasons. It sucks. Now it'll be great for Monte Cristo with his smirky self decided that he will love to see the LCS, not being canceled, pushed away, and have one less region to watch. And you know what, for Monte Cristo, you're right. You are absolutely right. Maybe we might have one less region to watch. We look at the LCK. I just watched some LPL games, and I look at the LPL. I was like, their product is really good. Their product is really, really good, to the point that any team can win Worlds on a drop of a hat. And the LCK, probably the same thing as well. Poro, psychedelic Poro, have his rankings, and KT Rolster is going to win LCK. When was the last time KT Rolster won LCK? Oh yeah, 2018. Forgot the score. But still, that's how competitive that region is. And you look at the LEC. Yes, the LEC have only won one international tournament, made it to Worlds Finals twice, and even though they are not as great, look, the LEC is fine because the LEC has one thing that separates North America from anything else, and that is the EMEA Masters, and how the EMEA Masters have treated their best players and developed their best players, so that you see the likes of Yike and Unforgiven and Elioya, those players that you see on the LECs today are byproduct to the EMEA Masters and to the growth and development of the other leagues. There was an interview with N-Rated by the Summit and Insight. He was on one of those teams from the Prime League. The Prime League is in Germany. And, the Prime League is one of the several leagues that from the EMEA Masters. And you see some players that you don't know of, but they are giving their damnest to compete and trying to be better and try to help their team win. And at the end of the day, they might get called up by the LEC, or maybe they just stay here. But I bet you $1 right now, and I'm going to bet you $1 right now, that the EMEA Masters are much cheaper than the NALCL. And you see, like, older players competing. I saw Vizichachi, I saw Kabashar, I see Zanzari competing. Old League of Legends players actually competing with some new, fresh, hungry faces. Which is why I'm dedicated these LCS Burden Week to watch some, dare I say, academy leagues. Some Prime League, some Superliga, some LFL, some other leagues, so that I can showcase North America that this is where talent is developed and talent being used. And maybe I'm not gonna say you can use this to save the NACL. The NACL is already gone, but I think as a fan, be getting canceled, but getting the LCS canceled, and I know I'm going to be a psycho for this, and I'm not going to be flamed, but I think the LCS being canceled and not having Worlds will be a good thing for the LCS. And yes, I know there'll be a cycle, but hear me out. Without having the LCS at Worlds, you have an opportunity for the entire year, for the next 6 months, to rebuild and like restructure your whole thing. To the point of like, let's make Academy better. Let's make the broadcast of the LCS better. Because here's the thing, the LCS broadcasts have been better this split by many people's standards. But unfortunately, the situation is so dire right now, so horrible that it can't be safe. The reason why these ratings and these numbers are going up because they love the OG LCS, the CLGs and the TSMs and the Void Boys of the world. And what did Riot do? They crushed them. They crushed them into little tiny bite-sized pieces. And of course, they now care about your Stargunnian Lux or your Arcanes or your T-shirts or your something. And that's not right. That is not right by our standards. And I think amazing. He was on Summoning Insight, of course, with Yamato Cannon, of course. Actually, I should put the Summoning Insight episode because there'll be some links about it. There was some discussion with Loco Doco and LS. But Amazing just told me that the esports scene should go back to being what the esports scene should be like before all of the money and all of the venture capitalists and all of these things. It's that competitiveness and the quirkiness. The quirkiness. Trust me, guys, I would rather watch 1,000 episodes of One Piece in a sitting than watch the LCS being competitive. That's how it is right now. I mean, the One Piece is more entertaining right now than LCS, and the show still keeps going, guys. Brother, Ted Lasso, by the way, the show just finished, is more entertaining than the LCS. That's how bad this is right now. That's how bad this is right now. And I feel like right now, the LCS, as Devin Nash said, should do a hard reset. Should just like rebuild the LCS from the ground up. You know, and you see players like, you see influencers like Disguised Toast and Moist Critical and all those kind of persons. And that's where you're supposed to build your region on. Those guys, those influencers, those personalities. I mean, I heard Mr. Beast wanted to try an LCS team. I mean, he can with all the money and goodwill he's done. He can do that. And I'm not saying they can save the LCS by making this competitive region, but okay, let's just try to make it entertaining. Trying to make it entertainment. Trying to make it like we care. We care more about your product than any world championship or anything like that, you know? Make the LCS care for those fans. Because right now, the LCS is a lost cause. And I don't see that saving right now. And listen, it make my video back in December 2022, which I'm going to put my link into it, really, really age like wine. And I know many people will be getting me flack back. I already done that, and I got a lot of flack from Reddit. But you know what? I don't care. I don't give a 2 cents about it. My video aged well like wine, and this is at this peaking point. This is the peak of that point that I already made about the LCS dying. Yeah, it's really, really, really sad. It's really, really sad. So if I were the LCS, and if you're gonna cancel the whole LCS summer, which, by the way, I look at the demands of about the LCS PA to Riot, and I just do not think that the Riot is going to agree with anything that they said, even the promotion relegation thing. That is not gonna happen. So if the LCS were to get canceled and get kicked off, I think you should put Doublelift as the sole focus of your rebuild. Because he was the one who said the LCS was dying, and he could bring the LCS back. He can. Now, he cannot be the commissioner or anybody, but he could be the face of that new LCS. Bringing in young players, having that influencers, and all the kind of stuff. Because I get it, having new players is great with JoJo PN and all those kind of stuff. But, you know, We need some old with the new kind of guys, you know? And we wanted to make it entertaining. Like, I look at the LEC and it's entertaining as hell, even though our regions have been kicked and curved and been stumped. I mean, I look at the LEC and meaning more entertaining, man. It's more entertaining, it's more fun, and I like it. The LCS is just like, it's greedy, it's slothfulness, it's not great, and it's killing the league. It is killing the league, and it's their fault. It is their fault and their fault alone. Yes, I'm talking to you, Riot. I'm talking to your players. I'm talking to the teams. I am talking about you. You have killed the LCS. You are trying to make the LCS bigger than all the other sports leagues, and unfortunately, it has bite you in the ass. And now, you are going to reap what you sow, guys. You are going to reap what you sow. And obviously, right now, having no LCS is best for everybody. It's best for the Redditors, it's best for the tweets, it's best for all the fans who've been calling the LCS really bad for the last several years. It's best for everybody, but as a fan, you know, it's not going to be great for me. It's not going to be fun. It's like watching someone who bullies you for so long, getting absolutely bullied itself. It's not fun. It's not fun. It's not fun for anybody. It's like watching Anthony Taylor getting absolutely heckled by all the Roma fans. You know, it's not fun. It's not fun. It's not cool. It is not right with anybody. It doesn't sit well with me that losing the LCS will not make it any better. Would it be making it any better to have one less league to watch? Absolutely. But, yeah, I just don't know. So, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much a long-winded conversation about how I feel about the LCS situation as a fan. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to process, but the first rule of getting over your addiction is to admit you have one. And I think right now the LCS has a problem that they have one, and I don't know. I don't know if they can solve it in 2 weeks, but maybe it's for the best that the LCS should not exist, for the betterment of everyone. So yeah, that's my video, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you like, please like and subscribe, and do whatever you do with your weekend. My name is Maki, and I'll see y'all next time.